So it's officially the day after the trade deadline. And after the trade deadline, there's two teams that I have to rebuild. One of them being the Dallas Stars. Now, when it comes to a Dallas Stars rebuild, what do I actually have to do here? Rupe Hintz, Wyatt Johnston, Mikko Rantanen on the first line. Jason Robertson, Matt Duchene, Jamie Benn on the second line. Mason Marchman, Granlund, and Seguin on the third line. This is one of the greatest top nines we have ever seen in NHL history. Like, I can't think of a top nine better than this. When Colorado was an absolute dominant force in 2022, or whichever year they won the Stanley Cup, their top nine wasn't quite as good as this. This top nine right here is going to be absolutely unstoppable. The defense, they got themselves a really solid defense. Lindell, Thomas Harley, Miro Heiskanen to lead the way, and they got themselves a superstar goaltender in Jake Ottinger. There is no reason this team shouldn't win a Stanley Cup. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be rebuilding the Dallas Stars for the next 5 years. But for season number 1, I'm not doing anything. These are the moves they made after the trade deadline, so we're just going to simulate right to the end of the season. Also, I didn't mention it, but the other team I want to rebuild, the Boston Bruins, because they sold everything, even their most valuable piece in Brandon Carlo. Like, they weren't afraid to sell whatsoever. So let's go ahead, simulate season number 1, see how this Dallas Stars team would do if they played together for a full 82. But while we simulate this season, if you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 78k by the end of the month, and if you don't subscribe, we won't be able to do that. So what are you doing? Sub to the channel right now. Now, it's absolutely no surprise the Dallas Stars are going to be first in their division, and clearly they're going to be first in the entire league. Nope, the Edmonton Oilers are ahead of them with a 55-21-6 record. Granted, this is after they acquired Jake Wallman, and they had Jake Wallman for all 82 games, so they got a St. Louis Blues legend on the team, but I feel like Dallas should be ahead of them. Dallas's team is just better than the Oilers team. Like, I don't think anyone can argue against that. Mikko Rantanen, 92 points, 45 goals. Jason Robertson, 36 goals for 87 points. Matt Duchene, Rupe Hintz, Granlund, Wyatt Johnston, Tyler Seguin. This team just looks so elite. Like, this team is so incredibly good. Like, they have to be the Stanley Cup favorite at this point. There's very few teams I could see you taking over the Dallas Stars. Granted, in saying all of this and gassing the Dallas Stars up as much as I am, there is a good chance this team also gets knocked out in the first round, because in the event they have to match up against the Colorado Avalanche in the first round, that's not going to be an easy task. We could see either Colorado or Dallas both falling in the first round. But you know what? We can't worry about that right now. Let's just focus on the Dallas Stars as they're taking on the Minnesota Wild in the first round. Now, let's not act like Minnesota's a bad team, but I feel like this Dallas Stars team should be able to take them down. We're going to be winning game 1, but we're dropping game 2, and we allowed 5 goals. That's not the greatest sign, but I know for a fact we'll respond in game 3, and in game 3 we win that one 2-1. Can we steal game 4? We lost that one 5-2. Okay, Minnesota's putting up a lot bigger fight than I was expecting. Game 5 is going to be a massive one. Who's taking the lead in the series? Not the Dallas Stars. It would only be fitting for Dallas to lose in the first round in year number 1. Like, stick on the ice takes over the Dallas Stars, and of course, this team's going to completely choke when it matters most. We have a 4-0 lead. We're going to be stealing this game away. We're winning it 5-1, but now we got game 7 elimination. So game 7 elimination coming up between the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild. Dallas, you got to steal this one away. Do not lose in game 7 of the first round. We got to absolutely lock in. We have all the talent in the world, but is it going to show up when it matters? Well, Brock Faber's going to be picking up the first goal. In the second, we're going to be exchanging goals, and we've tied this game up, moving into the third period. The third period is going to be the big one. Who's going to step up in the big time moments? Kaprizov's going to be stepping up, so is Mikko Rantanen. So we got overtime in round number 1. Game 7, the next goal is going to be the winner, and who's going to be scoring that goal? No one quite yet. We got double overtime, and in double overtime, Jamie Benn's picking up the winner. The Dallas Stars are going to be advancing. That was way too difficult for a first round matchup. So now we have that difficult matchup I was talking about. The Dallas Stars taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Two of the best teams in the league. Only one can advance to the conference finals. Now, Dallas, you struggled against Minnesota, and that's not giving me a lot of confidence, but I know you're going to turn it up moving forward. Or are you going to turn it up? We have to win game number 4. Game number 4 is a must win for us, and are we going to be able to steal that one away? Yes, we are. A 3-1 series lead, one more win, and we're in the conference finals, and that's exactly where we're going to be headed. So we made to the conference finals, and I don't think we should be surprised. It's the top 2 teams in the NHL. The Edmonton Oilers taking on the Dallas Stars. Both of these teams have been pretty solid in the postseason, but only one of them is going to be advancing here. Also, the Pittsburgh Penguins made to the conference finals. No clue how they did that. Like, the Pittsburgh Penguins, after doing a little bit of selling at the trade deadline, have somehow made to the conference finals. That makes absolutely no sense. But you know what? Who cares about the Pittsburgh Penguins? Dallas is advancing. So we got all the momentum in the world. Let's just keep on simulating here. How in the world did the Penguins make it to the Stanley Cup final? If we lose to the Pittsburgh Penguins in year number 1, we might just have to end this video. Like, I'm sorry. Ain't no way the Pittsburgh Penguins are making the Stanley Cup final after the trade deadline. Dallas, you should absolutely absolutely smoke this team. We have a 3-1 series lead, so you are smoking them right now. Just close it out in game number 5, and that's exactly what the Dallas Stars are going to be doing. Stanley Cup champions in year number 1. That's how it should be. The Dallas Stars are Stanley Cup champions. We have 4 more years left in the rebuild. You already know we're going for a 5-peat. Nah, but like this Dallas Stars team, absolutely elite from top to bottom. Mikko Rantanen, 26 points, 14 goals. Rupe Hintz, 24 points. Tyler Seguin, 18. Wyatt Johnston, 18. Jason Robertson, 17. Granlund, 16. Matt Duchene, 15. Like, it's so good. This team is just so elite. And then Jake Ottinger, 16 wins, 0 shutouts. But I don't care if you didn't have any shutouts because you posted a 931 and a 213. Bro was absolutely elite in the most important games, and because of that, Dallas won a Stanley Cup in year number 1, but clearly the job's not done yet. Now, although the Dallas Stars were an incredible team and just won a Stanley Cup, we do have to remember, in order to win this Stanley Cup, we had to trade a lot of picks away. So the Dallas Stars don't have a ton here. We're going to be drafting this guy in the 3rd round. He had inaccurate scouting, but might have medium elite potential. I highly doubt it, but you know what? We had to take a risk. Low top 4 is the 96th overall pick. Honestly, isn't that bad. And you know what? We better celebrate that low top 4 potential defenseman because that's the best thing we're going to be walking away with. Now, when it comes to the re-sign phase, you have to remember, we're paying Wyatt Johnston now. We're paying Mikko Rantanen now. This team has basically $2 million to work with. We have no money whatsoever. So when it comes to re-signing players, we're going to be in trouble. We actually have $7 million, which isn't too bad. However, look at all these players we have to re-sign. We're going to be losing a handful of important pieces. Like Matt Duchene and Granlund, I can basically guarantee both you guys aren't coming back. Like, we can't even afford Matt Duchene. So Duchene, Granlund, Jamie Benn, all of them are going to be walking. Cody Cece's going to walk. Donoff's going to walk here. Colin Blackwell, maybe we keep you around on a cheap price, 1.6. I don't know if I want to commit that to you. Maverick Bork, I want to keep you around for sure. How much are you looking for? 1.5. I can definitely do 1.5 for the next 2. So that's what we're going to offer you. Maverick Bork's coming back, 1.5. Lundqvist, we might as well bring you back to the team. We need a cheap defenseman. So how about 2.1 for the next 2? So with those 2 moves right there, that's basically half of our cap space. So after re-signing those 2 guys, we're going to sign a couple players to them 2-way contracts, but we're going to be losing a lot of the key pieces on this team. So now here's where things are going to get real difficult. So we went through the re-sign phase and we lost a bunch of key pieces. Now Jason Robertson and Thomas Harley want extensions. Robertson, how much are you looking for? 10.5 million. I don't know if we're going to be able to afford everyone here. Thomas Harley, please accept a reasonable deal. I wouldn't have expected a deal this good. Thomas Harley returning to the team. We're going to do $6 million for the next 4. Might as well just give him a no movement in that final season, and then we can get that significantly lower. So we're going to be looking at 5.5 for the next 4 years with Thomas Harley. I'll actually make that 5.6 million. That's a great deal. And then with that extra money, Jason Robertson, you more than likely will come back to this team. If you come back to the team though, that means we're going to be losing Mason and Marchment, but honestly, I'm okay with that. I'd rather have Jason Robertson over Marchment. Now, if I give Jason Robertson his extension right now, we'll be able to lock him down for like 10.5 million. Do I want to give him 10.5 million? I'm not too sure, but if we give him a no movement, we can get that even lower. And you know what? We can actually get that significantly lower. Like, we might be looking in the $8 million range. 8.9 is actually not going to be enough. How about 9 million? That's still not enough. 9.2. I bet he would accept 9.2 for the next 3. But you know what? I want to make sure he accepts 100%. So 9.3 for the next 3 with that no movement. Jason Robertson's coming back. Thomas Harley's coming back. We have all the key pieces here. We just got to get some guys for the bottom 6. Okay, here's a prime example of why I never use custom rosters. So I have to use a custom roster for this because EA hasn't updated since the trade deadline. Like, you got to give them a couple days to do so. But if you're just looking at the contracts on this team, clearly some things aren't right. A lot of players' contracts aren't where they should be. One of those players being Tyler Seguin. Somebody reduced his contract because he's technically injured till the end of the season, so they made his contract 1.1 million. So now that we know Tyler Seguin's contract is only 1.1 million, I want us to have about $9 million in cap space for this season, because then that basically just simulates the rest of his cap hit. Because his cap hit should be borderline 10 million, and right now we have him on the team for $1 million, and that's not fair whatsoever. So what we're going to do is I'm going to trade Mason Marchment, and honestly, Sam O'Reilly, that wouldn't be a bad pick. He's a good young player. I don't know if he's going to develop quick enough though. I don't know what his overall is. What is Sam O'Reilly's overall? He's a 68. So I don't think he's going to develop quite in time for us, but there was a move with the Boston Bruins I didn't mind. Like, the Boston Bruins are willing to offer us a 2nd and a 7th round pick for Mason Marchment. I'm perfectly fine with that, so I'm going to offer that over. So that gives us $8.6 million. If you add that $8.6 million to what Tyler Seguin's getting paid right now, that basically gets us exactly to what his contract should be. Now we got to free up a little bit more money, so Labushkin and Dumba, both of you guys are going to be shipped out, and we're going to bring in some really cheap defensemen. So we're going to ship out Lyubushkin here. He's going to be sent over to the Anaheim Ducks. We'll get a 3rd and 5th rounder. Then we're going to trade Dumbo away, and I don't really care where Dumbo goes. He's going to go to the Carolina Hurricanes. That frees up another $3.7 million. So in reality, we have give or take $5 million to rebuild the rest of this team. So we got to bring some cheap defensemen. Dylan Coghlan, I think you can be that guy. $1.2 million for the next 2 years. You can play some good third pairing minutes for us. Maybe even second pairing. Like, we really don't have that much money to work with. Now we need to sign incredibly cheap forwards. One of these forwards is going to be Mason Appleton. We're going to look at 1.8 for 1 season. I need him to play some bottom 6 minutes, and at 1.8 million, that's a pretty solid deal. Another incredible deal, Michael Carcone, $1 million for the next 2. If he joins the team, he's going to be a game changer for us, especially at that price tag. Victor Olofsson, I mean, for $1 million, why not? I can bring you to the team. So Victor Olofsson's going to get $1 million as well. Like, at this point, all we need are really cheap players. Cody Glass for $1 million, you can join this team. So welcome to the Dallas Stars. Hopefully that's going to be enough to bring you here. And then Puljujärvi, I have no clue how you're an 80 overall, but you know what? Why not? Join the team, play on the bottom 6. Now, there's not too many players that we can afford here, but Jack Roslovic might be one of the better ones. 83 overall, 2.8 million. And with that contract right there, that basically uses the rest of our money for free agency. So after all those moves right there, we have give or take $10 million in cap space, which is pretty fair considering Tyler Seguin's contract should be significantly higher than what it is. Bro's only getting paid $1.1 million. With the additional $10 million, in reality, we have $2 million to work with. So if we are going to use that $2 million, it's probably going to be at the trade deadline. But yeah, this is a prime example of why I never use custom rosters. Should have I double checked everything? Yes, I should have. But you know what? When I use EA rosters, it's all simple. All the contracts are the way they should be. It's just a lot easier. Now, last season, the Dallas Stars won the Stanley Cup. The best team in the NHL. They looked incredible. And this season, the team actually looks better than I thought they would. Maverick Bork's up to an 85 overall. Tyler Seguin's still an 87. Jason Robertson a 90. So our top 6 is still looking elite. The bottom 6 actually is better than I thought it would be. Jack Roslovic, I actually want you on the 3rd line. We're going to have Sam Steelman the 4th line. This isn't too bad. Defense is elite here. Yeah, the third pairing is a little bit weak, but with the top 4 that we have, it's going to make up for the difference. And then when it comes to goaltending, we still have the otter in between the pipes. And as long as this man continues to perform in the postseason the way he has been, we could easily 5-peat. I don't know why I said easily 5-peat, like acting like, oh yeah, 5-peats just happen all the time. No, a 5-peat's still going to be difficult. But you know what? With the players we have here, it could be possible. So you know what? I got to give a shout out to the Carolina Hurricanes. First in the entire league here. They're doing their thing. Stankoven playing on the top line. They got 2 picks in the Rantanen deal on top of that, and they're still one of the best teams in the entire league. Gotta give respect where respect is due. They basically replaced Mikko Rantanen with Logan Stankoven as the 2 first-round picks. Haven't obviously developed in time, but yeah, they're first in the entire league. Meanwhile, the Dallas Stars 4th, a 40-20-2 record. The offense looking great, the defense looking spectacular. You know this team's gonna finish right at the top by the end of the season. Mikko Rantanen, 48 goals so far, 79 points. Jason Robertson's looking great. Tyler Seguin's looking fantastic. Wyatt Johnson, Rupe Hintz, Jack Roslovic. What a pickup that was. Should have given him a multi-year deal. Or did we give him a multi-year deal? No, we didn't. 2.8, that's a great deal right there. And then when it comes to goaltending, the Otter, 28 wins, 4 shots, a 914, 258. We got to make some moves here. I think we got to pick up one guy from the bottom 6. We got to remember we only have $2 million to work with when it comes to cap space, so somebody's going to have to retain some money. Alright, so this is what I'm thinking. A 2nd rounder and 2 7s sent over to the Buffalo Sabres for Peyton Krebs. Peyton Krebs at this point is an 84 overall. He could be a valuable piece to the bottom 6, and if I only have to give up a 2nd and 2 7th rounders, I'm willing to do so. They're going to be saying no. Technically, we could take on his entire contract, but I want to see if we can save a little bit of money. So here's 3 7th round picks on top of that 2nd. Maybe I should offer something that actually has a little bit of value. So I'll do Dallas' 2nd rounder and Florida's 2nd rounder. We'll send this over to the Buffalo Sabres. They're saying no. 3 7th round picks. How about you accept that? We'll do this deal right here with the 3 7th rounders. They don't want to retain money. I mean, truthfully, you actually don't have to. If you retain $400K, we only take on $1 million for Peyton Krebs. I mean, that works for me. They just don't want to retain money. Okay, you don't have to. You don't have to retain money on Peyton Krebs. I'll take the full $1.4 million. We're getting this deal done, and Dallas is going to get themselves another Stanley Cup. We're going back to back. Now, to finish out the season, the Dallas Stars are 2nd in the entire league with a 53, 26-3 record. We missed out on 1st in the entire league because of 1 overtime loss. We should have been 1st in the entire league, but because of 1 OT loss, we're 2nd in the entire league. Mikko Rantanen, a career season, 61 goals, 39 assists for 100 points. He was absolutely lighting the lamp. Jason Robertson, 81 points. Tyler Seguin, 75. Wyatt Johnson, 71. Rupe Hintz, Thomas Harley, Jack Roslovic. The big time performers were definitely stepping up on this team. The Otter, 38 wins, 6 shots, a 910 to 264. You already know he's going to be showing up in these big time moments. Once again, we're taking on the Winnipeg Winnipeg Jets in the first round. We have a goal in mind, but I'm not going to mention the goal because if I do, it'll definitely backfire on us. You know what? I'm just going to say it because I've already addressed it multiple times. We're looking to repeat here. Now that I've mentioned that word, we are definitely losing in the first round, but I said it at the beginning of this season. I'm pretty sure I said it at the trade deadline. I've said the word repeat, so therefore we're not going to repeat. You can't talk about a streak when you're on the streak. But you know what? We actually might take down the Winnipeg Jets in a sweep. We're going to be dropping game number 4, but I know for a fact the team's going to respond in game 5. We'll close out this series and we'll move on to the second round. So we got past the Winnipeg Jets in 5 games, while the Colorado Avalanche went to 6 games against the Seattle Kraken. So does that prove we're a better team than the Colorado Avalanche? Yes, it does. Was that statement a little bit of a reach? Absolutely, but you know what? We're going to ride with it. The Dallas Stars are better than the Colorado Avalanche. We've dropped the first 2 games. Whatever you do not get swept here. We're fighting back in the series. We were down 2-0, but we've won back-to-back games. So we're going to make it 3 straight, and then we're going to close out in game number 6 here. We're actually off to game 6 elimination. We're looking to win as many Stanley Cups as possible over the next 4 years, and Dallas, you can't lose this one right here. I need you to win this series right here because we got to advance to the conference finals, and we're winning game 6, so we got game 7 now. In the big time moments, I believe in this Dallas Stars team. I know we can step up. We have all the talent in the world. We have all the big time performers. We have the goaltending. We have the defense. We have the forwards. And Jesse Puljujarvi is picking up goals in the postseason. So is Nathan McKinnon. Can we survive the third period? We're about to find out. Yes, we can. We're going to shut them down in the third period. Jesse Puljujarvi picked up a goal in this game. What universe are we living in? Also, I still haven't figured out how that man is an 80 overall. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, seriously, how are the Pittsburgh Penguins still in the postseason? This team made it to the Stanley Cup final last season. Now they're in the conference finals. I do not understand how the Pittsburgh Penguins keep on surviving. Like, we have to accept the fact it's over for that team. The Pittsburgh Penguins aren't the team they used to be. Somehow they keep sticking around though, and so are the LA Kings because we're facing elimination right now. Maybe I shouldn't focus on the Pittsburgh Penguins and I should focus on our matchup right here. We're down 3-1 this series against the LA Kings, but we're going to bounce back big time as long as we don't allow 4 unanswered goals, and we're almost allowing 4 unanswered goals, but we're only going to be allowing 3, and then Jack Roslovic's picking up a massive power play goal, so we're still alive. So we just got to take it one game at a time here. We're taking them down in game number 5. Now we got to take them down in game number 6. Puljujarvi's really showing up in these games. I don't know what's going on, but Puljujarvi is actually been one guy we can sort of rely on. I need the big time performers to show up during the third period, and in the third period, Jason Robertson with 40 seconds left. We're still alive. So it all comes down to one game. Game 7, winners off to the Stanley Cup final. Quentin Byfield's picking up the first goal of the game, but we're going to respond. Sam Steele, Jason Robertson, Kempe's going to be picking up one for the LA Kings, so the third period is going to decide this one, or potentially overtime, but we don't want to go to overtime, so we're just going to end it right here. Never mind. The LA Kings are ending it. Drew Doughty, Philip Deneau, 2 goals in the third period, and the Dallas Stars are going to fall in game 7 of the conference finals, so I guess we're not going to be repeating here. But you know what? We can just start a new streak, 3-peat to finish it off. So not only are the Dallas Stars falling in the conference finals, but so are the Pittsburgh Penguins, as the Florida Panthers are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup here. But yeah, how did Pittsburgh make it to the conference finals? I will never get over that. Jason Robertson was pretty solid in the postseason, 25 points. Mikko Rantanen, 24. I don't know what happened. I guess the big time players just didn't step up enough. Our second line just wasn't good enough here. I mean, I take that back. Our second line was actually pretty solid. Like Jason Robertson, Tyler Seguin, they held it down. The first line wasn't really that great outside of Mikko Rantanen. Our big time performers have to show up. Like Wyatt Johnston, you were -7. That's not good enough. Rupe Hintz, only 12 points. I need you to be better than that. Puljujarvi, you actually really didn't do anything other than those 2 goals you scored. You actually did nothing other than those 2 goals you scored. I thought you were stepping up in the postseason. Nope, it just happened to be the games I jumped into. Those are the ones you scored in. The Otter also had a 330. So I think that's all we really have to see. The defense wasn't good enough. The bottom 6 didn't hold up their end of the bargain. We'll make a couple changes in free agency, but a lot of the core pieces are still sticking around. Alright, so this draft has been an absolute bust considering we only have 3 picks. We're hoping this guy has low lead potential. We're going to walk away with low top 6. Honestly, that's not the end of the world. Considering what else was available, I'll take low top 6. Now, we're going to be losing a handful of guys here, but that's not really much of a surprise. Jack Roslovic's certainly going to be leaving the team. Now, we do have to remember, although we technically have enough money for Jack Roslovic, in reality, we only have about $6 million to work with because we still have to give Tyler Seguin his money. It's incredibly confusing, but Jack Roslovic, we actually can't afford you. Peyton Krebs, how much are you going to be looking for? More than likely, we're just going to qualify you as an RFA, and that's what's going to happen. You'll be qualified as an RFA and trade away. Mason Appleton, how much are you looking for? $2.3 million. It's actually not too bad, but I think we need somebody who's willing to accept a little bit less. Christian Kyrou, I'll definitely do $800K for the next 3 years. That's an absolute steal. Kyle McDonald, I have no clue who you are. No disrespect towards you, but $800K for the next 2. you actually might play a bottom 6 role at a 78 overall. Bully RV, you're going to walk here. Cody Glass, you're probably going to walk. You were actually a healthy scratch for us, so barring the price, we could bring you back. And you know what? How about we do 3 years at 950k? 3 years at 950k for Cody Glass. That's a great deal. So Mason Appleton, you might as well come back to the team. We got a lot of cap space to work with, but I want to do like 2.1 million or something. I'll give you 2.2 million for 2 years. That's not too bad of a deal. I said a lot of twos right there. That doesn't matter. We're getting the guys we want. So Tyler Seguin's more than likely going to be moving on after this season. We're not going to trade him because his trade value is way too high. His trade value has increased quite a bit because he's on such a cheap contract right now. So yeah, we're just going to be holding on to him. Maverick Bork, on the other hand, you're a good young player. You keep on getting better, and I wouldn't mind having you man our second line in the future. So how would I give you 4.5 million for the next 3 years? 4.5 is pretty fair for you, but actually we're going to be able to do a bit less than that. It's going to be 4.3 for the next 3. That's going to be a really solid deal for an 85 overall such as himself. Lundqvist dropped to an 84 overall. I wouldn't mind keeping you around, but I'm not sure if you're going to be worth this price. Actually, you're going to sign a pretty reasonable deal, aren't you? We're going to be looking at 4.3 for the next 2 years. I can work with that. So Lundqvist is going to be returning to the team. With a lot of the other players on this team, more than likely we're just going to be riding out contracts. I mean, we can keep Sam Steele around. Why not? 2.2 million. Actually, I'll do 2.3. 2.3 for the next 2. No, I'm actually really interested in this deal. Patrick Laine in free agency. If we could do sub 5 million, I'd really like that. And you are interested in sub 5 million, we're going to take a bit of a risk here. Patrick Laine, I'll give you sub 5 million with a modified no trade clause at 50%. So that almost maxes out your contract interest. We are going to be able to afford you. He's going to be accepting immediately. That's a big time deal right there. Now, Peyton Krebs, it's time for us to trade you away. So we're going to go 1 for 1 here. We could probably get a 7th rounder back, but I'm not too worried about the 7th rounder. Peyton Krebs straight up for Honzek. And then Honzek, hopefully I can re-sign you on a really reasonable deal. Because my guess is I should be able to get you for sub $2 million. You're only 21 years old. What are you going to be looking for? Yeah, we can definitely do this. I'll do 950k for the next 2 years. Why not? Now, unfortunately, the Dallas Stars were disappointed in the postseason last year, losing in Game 7 in the conference finals. But you know what? We're going to be back. You can make the argument this team's even better than the team we had last season. From top to bottom, we're amazing. Even the defense looks absolutely spectacular here. All 80 overalls and above. Look at that second pairing. We can definitely rely on the guys we have here. And then don't worry, because we still have ourselves a superstar goaltender in Jake Ottinger. 90 overall, 0 weaknesses across the board. Now, I really thought a 45, 13, and 5 record would be good enough for first in the entire league. Why would this record not be good enough for first in the entire league? Because Colorado has a 52, 9, and 3 record. Dallas may never finish first in the entire league just because we have stupid teams like Colorado who post a 52, 9, and 3 record. How on earth does that happen? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Mikko Rantanen, 82 points. Tyler Seguin, 71. Rupe Hintz. The team looks fantastic here, and I don't think we're going to make any changes because there's no changes I want to make. We're the best offensive, and we're tied for the best defensive. Jake Ottinger has been an absolute superstar so far. We really don't have that much cap space to work with, so we're not making any moves. If we lose to the Colorado Avalanche or something in the conference finals or even the second round, I can live with that. But if we lose in the first round, ain't no way. Okay, so you know how I said I'd be really mad if we lost in the first round? I would no longer be really mad if we lost in the first round. We're taking on the Winnipeg Jets. They're third in the entire league. We're second. Colorado was first. The Central Division is the greatest division in hockey right now. How on earth do you win 52 games and finish third? The Dallas Stars win 56 games. They finish second. And then the Colorado Avalanche wins 61. Our division is absolutely loaded. Whoever wins the Central is definitely winning the Stanley Cup here. Mikko Rantanen, 110 points, 57 goals. Tyler Seguin, 85 points. Rupe Hintz, 84. I don't care how good these numbers look. We are taking on an elite team in the Winnipeg Jets in the first round. The Otter, 48 wins, 9 shots, a 914, a 248. We have the Winnipeg Jets. Y'all better be locked in. I need some of the best hockey we have seen from the Dallas Stars, because unless you guys dominate, we're not winning. So I've emphasized enough that Winnipeg is going to be an incredibly tough matchup here. Are we going to be winning? Okay, we dropped game 1 6-1. That is not the sign I'm looking for here. I'm not feeling confident. We've dropped 2 in a row. Do not drop 3 in a row here. We are not getting swept. I also don't want to be down 3-1 the series. We are down 3-1 the series. This is a terrible start to the postseason. There's nothing you can really do about it. Winnipeg was an incredible team. If we lose to the Winnipeg Jets, it's not like we're losing to a bunch of bums. They're an amazing team. They were third in the entire league for a reason, but 7 goals is inexcusable. Like, I'm sorry, that was an elimination game right there, and y'all allowed 7 goals. Goaltending was absolutely atrocious, but you know what? I can't even put it all on Jake Ottinger, because he's going to have terrible numbers, no question about it, but it wouldn't hurt if this team scored. We did not score in this postseason. No matter how bad the defense was and how bad the goaltending was, we didn't score. An 879 and a 431. But you know what? I can't even be mad at Jake because it doesn't really matter. Bro could have had a goals against of 2 exactly. and we still would have lost because we weren't scoring goals. The Dallas Stars falling in the first round to the Winnipeg Jets. Someone from the Central better win. So you know what? I'm happy the Colorado Avalanche are winning a Stanley Cup here. At least it was a team from the Central Division. Colorado would have been a tough task for us. Like, I can't even guarantee, even if we got past Winnipeg, we'd beat Colorado. That team was just elite from top to bottom. Now, the draft hasn't been too notable up until this point. We're getting McIntyre, 57 overall, mediumly potential. He was a gem. However, he's a mediumly potential goaltender, not a mediumly potential forward or defenseman, so his trade value is not really going to be that high. However, I probably still will try to utilize it. Now, for having as many draft picks as we had, we missed on a lot of picks. McIntyre ended up being a good goaltender. Outside of that, it was just miss after miss. We got a couple of top 9 potential players, but I mean, top 9 potential players aren't going to be helping us over the next 2 years. So Tyler Seguin, it looks like we're finally going to be losing you. You're 35 years old. Unless you're willing to sign a 1-year deal, which you are, do I bring you back to the team? The problem is if I bring you back, we basically don't have a bottom 6. So Tyler Seguin's going to be walking here. We have this young defenseman still. He's looking for $4.5 million. I don't really want to commit that to him considering he's going to be a third pairing guy, so I'll qualify him as an RFA. Victor Olsen, you're going to walk. Carcone's going to walk. We have Oscar Bach, I'm assuming it's Oscar Bach. But I have no clue. All I know is he's getting $800K. I assume with the accent over the A, it's not back and it's probably Bach. But I also might have just said that completely wrong. So yeah, shout out to Oscar. So there's not really any big extensions we have to give out here. Everyone's tied down for the next 2 years except for Mason Appleton. And Mason Appleton, how much are you going to be looking for? 3.7. I don't want to commit that to you, so we're probably just going to ride out your contract here. We will make a couple trades to fill out the bottom 6, but we already have a majority of the team under contract. Now we need somebody for the third pairing defense, and Tyler Tucker, I think he could be that guy for us, so I'll give you 1.9 for the next 3 seasons. We know for a fact he's going to be accepting that because why wouldn't he want to join the Dallas Stars? We're going to make one move though, because I think we got to improve the forward core just a little bit. Now this would be a no-brainer. Marco Casper, 2.4 for the next 3 years. He's an 84 overall. If we can get this deal done, that's a massive steal. He'd be a great player on the bottom 6. He could even play top 6 minutes. This is a deal that we have to get done. I don't want to trade our first round pick away, but I'm not against trading our first round pick away, but I don't think we're going to have to do that. 2 second rounders and a third will probably be enough to get this one done. So I'm going to offer this over to Detroit. They're saying no. We're throwing in a first round pick. We're going all out. Dallas, I can see you winning a couple more Stanley Cups here. And if you want to win some Stanley Cups, we got to go all in. Here's a second rounder as well. This is a huge deal for Detroit. They're still saying no. I'll give you another second rounder. We don't need to draft in this video. We have all the important pieces. We just need depth guys like Marco Casper. Now, there's a lot on the line for the Dallas Stars this season. They're looking to repeat to finish the video off. And I don't care how good this team looks. The rest of the Central Division is absolutely loaded. Like, you might see this team right here and you'll say, there's no way this team could be stopped by anybody. Then you see the Winnipeg Jets have an incredible season. Then you see the Colorado Avalanche have an even better season than the Dallas Stars. And you're like, oh wait, we're not that special. On paper, this team looks incredible. They look like they won't be able to be beaten. And then Colorado does even better, and then Winnipeg's right behind them. So yeah, unless something changes in the Central Division, there's no easy matchups for us. Also, we really don't have the cap space to do anything, so we're going right to the end of the season. Alright, now the Central Division, not as loaded as it used to be, but Dallas still looks incredible. A 64-12-6 record. The best offense and the best defense. We are impeccable from top to bottom. Jason Robertson, he picked up 98 points. Rantanen, 95, he had 49 goals. Wyatt Johnston, Miro Heiskanen, Rupe Hintz, Maverick Bork, everyone on this team was absolutely superb. When it comes to Jake Ottinger, you were him this season, plain and simple. 54 wins, 11 shows, a 930 and a 201. If we don't go 16-0, I'm going to be disappointed. We're taking on Utah in the first round. Utah's not going to be able to stop us. We're going on a run. Like, I'm feeling so confident right to the end of the postseason. We know this team's going to go on a run, and we know they're going to win a Stanley Cup. We're the best team in the entire NHL. We lost game number 1. I'm canceling that immediately. We are not simming right to the end of the season. We have to make sure that we can make it through game 3 here. We dropped the first 2 games. The offense has vanished. The defense is atrocious. You better not lose 3 straight here. We're going to respond in game number 3. We can't lose game 4 here. If we lose game 4, we're basically eliminated. We're going to be winning that one. We're moving on to game 5. Why did Dallas have to concern me? Why did they have to drop those first 2 games? We're the best team in the NHL, and now we're finally playing like it. After those first 2 games, it looks like we've woken up here, and we're not going to be turning back. We're getting ourselves a Stanley Cup. So we gave Utah those first 2 games and won 4 after that. We can't give Colorado the first 2. If we give Colorado the first 2 games, we're not coming back from it. Like, Jake Ottinger has actually been really good in the postseason. Ignore those first 2 games. Since then, he's been absolutely locked in. Why did I try to gas this man up? Like, seriously, what was the point in gassing Jake Ottinger up? 7 goals allowed in game game number 1. We've split the series with Colorado. Do not lose game number 5. We cannot afford to lose game 5. We're winning that one, moving on to game 6. But yeah, the second I tried to gas this man up, he's allowing 7 goals, and now we're in game 7. Colorado's looking to win back-to-back Stanley Cups. We're looking to move on to the conference finals. I refuse to lose to the Colorado Avalanche here. 3 massive goals in the second period is going to be helping us, but can we hold it down in the third period? We're exchanging goals. Cale Makar's goal is not going to be enough, and we're going to be moving on. So we've made it to the conference finals. Back here once again, we're taking on the Edmonton Oilers. As long as they have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, they're going to be competitive. So this is a massive series right here, and we are getting absolutely smoked. Just kidding. Back-to-back victories. Can we make it 3 straight? No, we can't. We're in game 6 elimination. This doesn't surprise me. I don't know why, but it just doesn't. Like, although Dallas is the best team in the entire league, like we were first in the entire league, a dominant force, something about us just getting blown out in this series doesn't surprise me. I shouldn't really say blown out. Like, we're in game 7, but I feel like we should have just been better the entire postseason. Like, Dallas hasn't screamed, we're the best team in the entire league. We won 64 games. They're kind of like, yeah, we're mid, you know, like we're the 8th best team in the entire league. We're no superstars, but you know, we can compete when it matters. Can we steal the third period away? Can we make it to the Stanley Cup final? Yes, we can. A big show from Jake Ottinger. That's what we needed. But yeah, Dallas, the entire postseason run, haven't impressed me too much. But you know what? None of that matters anymore. We're in the Stanley Cup final, and who do we get to take on? The Boston Bruins. We're taking on the Boston Bruins. Never would have expected to see this team in the Stanley Cup final, but here we are in the year 2028 and Boston's back, and Boston's low-key dominating. Okay, I thought they stole game number 1. That's why I said they were dominating. I thought they had a 3-1 series lead, but nope, we split the series with Boston. Game 5 is going to be massive, and we're scoring 10 goals. We're going to close it out in game number 6, and the Dallas Stars are Stanley Cup champions once again, but we got one more season ahead of us. Let's go back-to-back to finish this off. From the very beginning of the postseason, considering Dallas won 64 games during the regular season, they didn't impress me too much. Mikko Rantanen impressed me though, 38 points, 18 goals, 20 assists. Wad Johnston, 32 points, Jason Robertson, 26, Marco Casper, 19, what an amazing pickup that was. But I just thought this team would be better. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was goaltending. The Otter put up great numbers, 16 wins, 2 shots, a 921 to 258. But the way they performed during the postseason, it didn't look like a 64 win team to me. But you know what? Who cares? We could have won 3 games in the regular season for all I care. We won the Stanley Cup, so that means we won the most important games. So we haven't gotten to the draft or anything, but we just want ourselves a Stanley Cup. So why would I want to change this team up whatsoever? Mason Appleton here is $3.3 million. He's going to be returning to the team. The only other player we have to re-sign is McDonald, but he's dropped to a 77 overall, so I think I'll just pick up his replacement in free agency. So the draft doesn't really mean too much here. We didn't get anything notable. We need to sign 1 free agent, and then we're running it back. Like, we are going to try to run it back with basically everybody. Like, we won 64 games last season. Why would I want to change things up? So we got to bring in 1 forward for the bottom 6. I really don't care who that forward is. Connor McMichael, you wouldn't be too bad. Jacob Pelche, you wouldn't be bad either. So we could go with either of those guys. Who has a better fit on the bottom 6? Connor McMichael does. Welcome to the team. McMichael, I'll give you $4.1 million. We don't have to worry about next season. He's joined the team. Let's roll. So I don't see why we wouldn't be able to repeat. It's the exact same team with the addition of Connor McMichael, so we're even better. The defense, absolutely spectacular. Goaltending, elite. We have 93 overall Jake Ottinger, one of the best goaltenders in the league at this time. Who's stopping us? Nobody. In reality, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves here. A lot of teams last postseason put up some big fights. Like, there was multiple series where we went to 6 games, so we shouldn't act like we dominated everybody. They were all really tough battles. After finishing first in the entire league last season, we're second in the entire league, even though we have the same amount of points as the New Jersey Devils. I don't know what Dallas has against finishing first in the entire league consistently, but you know what? Once in 5 years when we were arguably the best team, who really cares? Patrick Laine, out of nowhere, you just picked up 43 goals and 40 helpers. Up until this point, you haven't really done too much for me, and then you picked up 83 points. So shout out to Patrick Laine. It looks like he finally found a role on this team. We're looking great from top to bottom. No weaknesses whatsoever. Goaltending still looking spectacular. What can I say? The Dallas Stars are the best team in the league right now. I don't care if the Devils are technically ahead of us. We're better than them. Let's lock in, take down the Predators, and then of course we'll take on the Colorado Avalanche in the second round. We all know what's going to happen. Now I really shouldn't get too far ahead of myself because I thought we were going to sweep the Utah Hockey Club, and they put up a pretty good fight last season. We're winning game number 1 6-2 though, so that's a great start. Can we steal game 2? Yes we can. We actually actually might sweep the Nashville Predators. We'll take down the Nashville Predators in a sweep and we'll move on to the second round. That's a great start. All right, so a lot of things are happening. The Chicago Blackhawks just swept the Colorado Avalanche, so we're taking on Chicago in the second round. We have now won 14 straight games. I didn't realize it, but we actually won 10 straight games heading into the playoffs. Then we swept Nashville. We have won 14 straight games in a row. So yeah, how about we win another 12 straight games here and just sweep the entire postseason? Are we going to drop game number 1 now that I've said that? We're actually winning that one. We're winning game 2 as well. This team is on an absolute heater right now until we lost game number 3. We were looking spectacular, but we got ourselves a 3-1 series lead. So we're going to take Chicago down here. Just kidding. I just realized the face cam isn't on. You know what? We're keeping it off for this series. Chicago, we're going to take you down. We're moving on to the Edmonton Oilers. Nah, stick on the ice is truly lacking. Like, how did I not realize I didn't turn it on? But you know what? Who cares? We're in the conference finals. We're looking to win a Stanley Cup. We also might get swept here. Just kidding. We're winning back-to-back games. We're going to win 3 straight games. We're moving on to game 6 elimination because, of course, we're going to lose game 5. But I can never doubt the Dallas Stars. Like, this team has looked elite from season number 1. Then they're going to allow 4 unanswered goals. Okay, not really the way I want to end this video. 4 goals allowed in the first period. We're going to be following. That is a tough way to end this one. So that was the most unfortunate way for us to go out. The New Jersey Devils Stanley Cup champions. But I really thought this Dallas Stars team was going to repeat. Mikko Rantanen 17 points, 8 goals, 9 assists. Wyatt Johnston 17. Roope Hintz 15. The offense was there, and I believe the goaltending was there as well. Or was the goaltending weak here? Maybe it was slightly weak. The Otter 10 wins, one shot, a 907 and a 289. A 907 and a 289 is just not going to be good enough for us. We're falling in the conference finals. Given everything, I mean, 2 Stanley Cups in a 5-year period, multiple conference finals appearances. The Dallas Stars were legit. Like, they were legit from season number 1 to season number 5. They competed with the best, but there were some great teams out there. And never forget season number 3, where the Colorado Avalanche were first in the entire league with 60 plus wins. We finished second with, I believe, 56. And then there was the Winnipeg Jets with 53. That top 3 in year number 3, all from the Central Division, there was no winning for us there. We ran into too many hot teams. It's just the way she goes.